Hi, this is Bob from the BeanCast here with Peter Shankman, and it's time for the 2-minute rundown for Friday, February 3rd, 2012. The timer is running. Let's get started. You know, this is a non-story, Peter, but apparently women influence purchasing.
Look around my apartment at the rug that my wife bought and tell me that men have any influence in purchasing whatsoever.
I know. And it's just like, and I see these stories and I think, why am I even talking about them? But at the same time, you know, it is interesting that women are controlling more and more of the major purchases. And they're really getting involved with making decisions on everything. Like, you know, we can't market cars to men anymore.
No, I said to, when I moved in here, give me the bathrooms and give me the electronics. You can do everything else. And the money that we spent on everything else came out to a hell of a lot more than the bathrooms and the electronics.
Right.
Women have a much higher control now because they're the ones who, we talked about this last week, they're the ones sitting in front of reading the catalogs. We don't care.
I think it's funny that out of the one thing that you chose in your apartment, you chose the bathroom.
Do not mess with my shower. I had a digital shower. Okay. It has memory.
So I thought we were talking about the throne here.
That's next.
General Electric, GE, they did a study. They did a study determining whether or not shared content was more effective than paid content. And they put head-to-head some shared content and some paid content, and they've come to the conclusion that, of course, shared content is better. Now, on one hand, I agree. Shared content is more meaningful. But you don't get shared content until you've got paid.
It's a flawed study. It's more relevant because it's given by someone who matters. But it's less relevant to the advertiser because it takes too long. You can't really track it. It's very hard to understand where it comes from. It's the equivalent of me going into a bar, seeing a woman going, "I'm awesome," or her best friend saying, "Hey, that's Peter. He's awesome." It's a much bigger difference.
Well, social TV has surged. We know year over year, Idol had a 597% growth. So they can't even talk about things like, whether or not Idol was more popular than X Factor.
And Idol has declined. This is the first year that Idol actually declined between 25 and 44-year-old men. So
wow.
Idol's down. But yes, social TV is growing. It really depends. Again, something like Homeland, which I'm just starting to get addicted to now, took me a year to get into it.
Right.
So the social factor does happen, but it takes longer.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely does. Well, we're out of time for today and for this week. I'm Bob Knorpp. This is Peter Shankman. Tune in next week for another 2-minute rundown.